Have you ever imagined witnessing such a crushing victory that no one could ever doubt an athlete's superiority again? That's exactly what happened on one of the most memorable nights in bodybuilding history. The question is, how did Chris Bumstead manage to humiliate all his competitors on that stage? Get ready to discover a story of extreme dedication, physical and mental mastery that forever changed the way we view classic physique. That night, the spotlight wasn't just on a champion, it was on a legend in the making. Chris didn't just display impressive muscles, he radiated a confidence and control that left the audience in absolute silence. Everything seemed to conspire to make him the star of that night, and its impact would echo for years to come. Want to know what made Chris stand out so much and what the secret was behind this legendary performance? Stay with me until the end of the video, because I'm going to reveal every detail that few witnessed live. And if you enjoy stories like this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Before that unforgettable night, Chris Bumstead went through a journey of discipline, sacrifices, and intense training that few know about. The question remains, what was the secret behind the preparation that led him to humiliate his competitors? On stage, what truly set him apart? Chris wasn't just another athlete chasing muscle volume. He sought perfection in every detail, every fiber defined, every pose studied. His strict diet and training regime were planned for months, involving teams of specialists to polish his physique and mental endurance. More than strength, Chris trained his mind to stay calm under pressure, a crucial advantage. He knew that, in classic physique, victory belongs to both the body and the mind. This powerful combination would be key to publicly dismantling his rivals that night. Want to understand how this preparation worked? Stay tuned. The arena was packed, fans shouting names, photographers getting ready. When the competitors began entering, the atmosphere still felt evenly matched, but the moment Chris Bumstead stepped onto the stage, everything changed. The question is, what did the spectators see in that instant that left everyone stunned? What was it about Chris that night that made the others seem ordinary next to him? The impact was immediate. The stage lights revealed a physique so dry, dense, and vascular that it looked unreal. Muscle fibers were so defined you could see details from meters away. All eyes turned to him, and the cheers intensified. While other athletes tried to match the poses, Chris displayed absolute confidence, controlling every inch of his movement. He owned the stage as if it were his private arena, unshaken, unhesitant. With each mandatory pose, the crowd reacted, as if witnessing something unprecedented. His famous front double biceps drew immediate applause. When he turned around, revealing an impossibly wide back and glutes cut to razor-sharp definition. Even his rivals reacted. That psychological dominance over his competitors began right there. They realized it didn't matter how well they posed, Chris was operating on another level, and that superiority would be felt all the way to the end. Want to know how the other competitors reacted backstage? Stay with me on the channel and subscribe, because in the next chapter, I'll tell you what happened behind the scenes. While the audience erupted with every pose from Chris Bumstead, the atmosphere backstage was something else. The other competitors started to realize they were witnessing something far beyond the ordinary. The question is, how did the other athletes react, seeing Chris dominate the stage like that? What went through their minds when it became clear the contest was already decided? Reports from coaches and athletes that night revealed many avoided even looking at Chris during the breaks. Whenever he returned backstage for adjustments, the atmosphere grew heavy, silence took over, and the tension was visible. Some tried to stay focused, others couldn't hide their frustration. A veteran whispered to his coach, "It's impossible today. He's from another planet." Conversations turned short and tense. Some competitors, who had planned to impress the judges with last-minute changes, abandoned their strategies. It was as if they collectively accepted that second place would be the best they could aim for that night. Chris had seized psychological control of the competition, something rare in classic physique, where pressure usually levels the playing field. That mental dominance became even clearer. When one shaken athlete botched a sequence and left the stage early, the crowd noticed, and commentators pointed out the canyon between Chris and the rest. Want to know how this influenced the judges' final decision? Stay with me, and subscribe, because in the next chapter, I'll reveal their verdict. After all, the tension, posing, and heavy atmosphere backstage, the decisive moment arrived, the judges' evaluation. The question on everyone's mind was, how would Chris Bumstead's extraordinary performance be judged against such high-level competitors? And more importantly, what would this decision represent for the history of classic physique and bodybuilding? Worldwide, the notoriously strict judges had no doubts. Chris Bumstead was crowned champion that night by a margin never seen before. His combination of extreme definition, balanced volume, and flawless symmetry set a new standard of excellence. Some experts commented it was the most dominant victory ever recorded at the event. But this decision didn't bring applause alone. For many, Chris raised the bar of the competition so high that it sent shockwaves through both the competitors and the community. Questions began to surface. Would it ever be possible for anyone to surpass that performance? How far can the pursuit of the perfect physique go without sacrificing health? These debates sparked a new generation of athletes. Moreover, his victory marked a turning point in how coaches and athletes planned their preparations, adopting more advanced precision-focused techniques. Chris Bumstead didn't just win a title, he forever changed the game of classic physique. If you want to understand how that impact echoed for years and influenced even his rivals, stay with me and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapters of this epic story. Chris Bumstead didn't just claim the title that night. He left behind a legacy that would influence an entire generation of athletes. The question we should ask is, how did that presentation reshape the way people viewed bodybuilding, and what changes did it trigger within the sport? What did Chris represent to the young athletes dreaming of reaching the top? After that historic victory, many began questioning the limits of training, dieting, and strategies to achieve physical perfection. Chris proved that the pursuit of symmetry, muscle density, and vascularity could reach levels once thought impossible. His discipline and precision in details opened the door to a new competitive standard. Coaches started investing in more specific techniques, and athletes realized every pose and detail mattered on stage. The pressure to evolve intensified, and bodybuilding began to be taken more seriously as a sport, a science, and an art form. But not everything was flawless. Chris's legacy also raised discussions about the risks of chasing the ideal physique to extremes. Issues surrounding health, substance use, and mental pressure became part of the conversation, exposing the darker side of glory. If you want to understand how Chris Bumstead continues to influence athletes, coaches, and fans around the world, stick with me and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. In the next chapter, we'll explore inspiring stories and the challenges faced by those following in his footsteps. Following in the footsteps of a champion, like Chris Bumstead, is no easy task. The question many ask is, what are the biggest challenges faced by those trying to reach the top of modern bodybuilding? And most importantly, how can they overcome the barriers of such a demanding sport? The journey is full of obstacles, physical, mental, and even social. The pressure to meet the near-perfect standard set by Chris and other icons creates anxiety, fear of failure, and extreme demands in training and dieting. Many athletes report the constant weight of comparison and the daily battle against their own limits. Injuries, too, are a constant threat. The body endures enormous wear and tear, and balancing intensity with recovery is crucial to avoid ending a career too soon. Discipline is essential, but emotional and physical exhaustion causes many to quit before finding success. Yet the stories of those who persevere are truly inspiring. Athletes who, despite the hardships, find motivation to push forward, refining their techniques and investing in innovation and science. Did you enjoy this story? Subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next videos packed with exclusive content.